What's up everyone, it's a Knife Side here, and today I'm going to be doing a video talking about serrated edges. So this video is kind of inspired by a knife guy I watch a lot, that I assume you guys watch a lot, is Randy Johnson. Now, a couple months ago I was watching videos on his about serrations, and he was like, hey, they're actually good, they actually work, he really likes them. And I was like, I feel like in the knife world, there's just some things that a million people write off just because, like, some other YouTuber just like, oh, serrations, nobody ever used those aren't very good. And I was like, knife companies make a ton of knives in serrations, so they gotta sell, right? Or they wouldn't make them. So I was like, I should try one out. Got this a couple months ago. I have sharpened it a couple times, used it, and so now I'm giving my updated thoughts. By the way, this is the Spyderco Indela in VG10. So first, I guess we'll go ahead and touch on sharpening. And this is the main downside of it, in my opinion. I have like a ceramic rod. I don't have like a diamond rod or anything. I think one of the best things for serrations would probably be like the Sharpmaker system. I used to have one, but I sold it when I switched over to freehand sharpening. But I just feel like it wasn't really sharpening that I was doing. It was really like touch-ups on the edge. And if this knife got crazy dull or something, like with huge chips, I'm not sure what I would do with the edge, like how I would sharpen it out. But sharpening wasn't as bad as I thought. I really just would go on this. What serrations are, they're like chisel ground at the edge. So this is V ground, but as you can see, there is a bevel on this side, but not on this. So I'd form a burr, start on this side, form a burr over here, and then just kind of knock it off and even it out. And I would get a pretty good edge. I've seen people get a lot better edges than I got. I've seen like a Michael Christie video where he can like whittle a hair with just one little section of the serration. I wouldn't do that, but I could get it to where it was cutting paper good, and also really cutting cardboard good. And cardboard is like one of the main things that I cut with my knives, and the serrations did really well for that. And also one thing I like about them is they seem to hold their working edge longer, just because all of these little points, these little apexes on the edge, they're like a bunch of tips, and so it really does good at cutting. You can kind of just saw through it, not really like that, but just kind of do a cut, and it'll hit all of them and cut the thing pretty good. Not as clean as like a super sharp plain edge, but it still does a good job. And I could really see myself carrying like a like a combo edge if I was doing like yard work or something, just for cutting specific things. I know like trimmer line, this did a good job with. I cut some of that, and so just like harder plastic serrations I like for that. And I remember trying to cut it with like my Hogue Deca, and it was slipping off pretty easy. That could just be because the edge wasn't very toothy on it, but the serrations did seem to help with cutting harder plastics and more fibrous, is that a word? I think so. Fibrous materials like rope, cardboard also. And so yeah, serrations are good for that. The only thing is, like, if I'm gonna keep, actually, let me put this other knife up here, because I haven't shown this on the channel. This is Spyderco I got. I forget the name of it, but it just looks cool. That's why I got it. I just like the blade. But serrations, I really liked them. I just don't see myself having every knife be a serrated knife. I'm glad that I have one in my collection. I think it's gonna come in handy a lot, and I prefer that to having a bunch of just plain edge knives. But for my everyday carry, cutting cardboard, I usually keep my knives pretty sharp. If they can't cut paper, I usually sharpen them. And so when I'm cutting cardboard, if it can cut paper, it can cut cardboard fine. So I usually don't run into any issues where it would be nice to have a serrated edge, but I think that they work great. And I would suggest them if they fit your uses. So I wouldn't immediately write off serrations like a lot of people do from the start, just because a lot of people say, oh, they're not worth it, they're just there for looks, something like that. They actually do work, and they actually are really good. But for me, it's just the sharpening of it. It's kind of tedious, and maybe if I got like another system like a sharp maker, it would be a lot more enjoyable. But just when I'm sitting there with a ceramic rod going like that, and then that, and then that, and then that, I'm just like, man, I'd rather just be going like that on a stone. And if this thing does chip out, what am I gonna do? I guess I have to get like a diamond file or something, and then use my ceramic one. But I do like them. They're good for cutting those materials, like I said, the plastics, the fibrous materials. Maybe I'll do a cut test video comparing serrations to a plain edge, but also I feel like it'd be weird because like the sharpness, because I can't get a serrated edge as sharp as I could get a plain edge. But I don't know. I probably won't do that just because when it comes to like cut testing videos, I'm not really a fan of making them there very much. They're just kind of difficult to do. But yeah, that's all I really got. Kind of a shorter video than I usually do. My final thoughts on serrations is they are viable. They work good. I could see myself using them for, I like that I now have knives that I could use for specific applications that would do better than a plain edge, but it's not going to replace an everyday carry plain edge. For me, hard use, I could definitely see myself rocking a knife with serrations, which I've been using this one recently. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Let me know in the comments if you like serrations. I feel like there's a lot more serrated fans out there than we think, because I bet a lot of them will show up in the comment section. Hopefully, maybe. I don't really know. But overall, serrations are cool, just not my thing for everyday carry. But yeah, that's all I got today. Thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know. I'm trying to remember the name of this knife. I don't know, but it looks cool. That's the only reason I got it. Haven't really carried it yet. But man, I like, it's the Matriarch. Yeah, Spyderco Matriarch. Pretty sure. But yeah, overall, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.